Over 60? Eat this daily to boost blood flow in your legs. It sounds almost too simple, but if your feet are cold, your calves cramp at night, or you've started shortening your walks because your legs feel heavy, one small daily change could make a noticeable difference, sometimes in hours, more reliably over weeks. I've reviewed the research, talked with vascular specialists, and tried these protocols myself. Here's exactly what to eat, why it works, and how to do it safely. As we age, our arteries don't behave the way they used to. Imagine highways that slowly become single-lane roads. That narrowing and stiffness comes down in large part to a loss of one tiny molecule, nitric oxide. Nitric oxide signals the walls of our blood vessels to relax and open, a process called vasodilation. When nitric oxide production drops, arteries tighten, blood flow slows, muscles get less oxygen, and the legs are the first place most of us notice it. Numbness, cold toes, cramps, and that heavy, slow feeling when walking. Studies suggest nitric oxide production can decline substantially with age, in some reports by up to roughly 60 to 70%, and that change is a big reason circulation problems become more common after 60. This decline matters because poor leg circulation isn't just uncomfortable. It makes balance worse, raises the chance of painful cramps, and increases the risk of falls. The good news is these biochemical pathways are responsive to diet. Certain foods give your body the raw materials it needs to make or protect nitric oxide. That's the practical angle. You can eat this daily to boost the building blocks for better blood flow. If you want smart, evidence-backed tips for staying active and mobile after 60, hit subscribe now. I'll keep the guidance clear and practical. So how does food actually help? There are a few nutrient players to know. Dietary nitrates, found in beets, leafy greens, and celery, can be converted by your body into nitric oxide. L-citrulline, an amino acid found in watermelon and certain supplements, helps the body recycle nitric oxide. Flavanols and anthocyanins, plant compounds in cocoa, pomegranate, and tart cherries, protect nitric oxide from breaking down, so the signal lasts longer. The process is surprisingly visual. Nitrates in your meal are partly converted to nitrite by friendly mouth bacteria, then turned into nitric oxide in the stomach and bloodstream. That's why mouthwash that kills oral bacteria can blunt the benefit, a practical rule you'll want to remember. Not every food is equal, and speed matters. Some options produce measurable increases in blood flow within hours. Others work more slowly but still help when used regularly. Below I rank 10 common foods and drinks by practicality, speed, cost, and potency, from the lowest impact to the most powerful. For each item, I'll tell you what to expect and one quick tip. 10. Plain water. Why it's here? Hydration matters.
Dehydration thickens blood and makes circulation feel sluggish. Mechanism: basic fluid balance, helps blood volume and temperature regulation. Time frame: immediate for the feeling of hydration, but no direct nitric oxide boost. Pros: free, safe, no sugar. Cons: won't raise nitric oxide on its own. Tip: drink water throughout the day. Make it your baseline. Score: 1 out of 10. 9. Green tea. Mechanism: flavonoids and catechins that support endothelial function, the cells that line blood vessels. Time frame: days to weeks for steady effects if consumed daily. Pros: low sugar, easy to make. Cons: milder effect than concentrated nitrate sources. Tip: steep properly and avoid loading with sugar. Score: 3 out of 10. 8. Tart cherry. Mechanism: anthocyanins that can support circulation and reduce oxidative stress. Time frame: days to a few weeks. Pros: tasty, available as juice or whole fruit. Cons: many juices have added sugar. Tart cherry concentrate is often expensive. Tip: use unsweetened concentrates or whole cherries where possible. Score: 4 out of 10. 7. Pomegranate. Mechanism: punicologens and polyphenols that protect nitric oxide and reduce arterial stiffness. Time frame: days to weeks. Pros: flavorful, available in juice and whole seed formats. Cons: juice sugar content. Fresh pomegranate seeds take effort. Tip: choose 100% pomegranate juice and dilute if it's sweet. Score: 5 out of 10. 6. Cocoa. Unsweetened or low sugar. Mechanism: flavonols that enhance endothelial function and nitric oxide availability. Time frame: hours to days for short-term vasodilation, longer for consistent improvement. Pros: widely available, pleasant flavor. Cons: many commercial chocolates are high in sugar and fat. Tip: use unsweetened cocoa powder mixed into smoothies or oatmeal. Avoid candy bars. Score: 5.5 out of 10. 5. Watermelon. Mechanism: high in L-citrulline, which the body converts to L-arginine, a precursor for nitric oxide. Time frame: a few hours to days. Pros: hydrating, easy to eat. Cons: seasonal in some places, sugar content to watch if diabetic. Tip: eat fresh chunks or blend in a smoothie. Combine with a nitrate-rich green for a bigger effect. Score 6 out of 10. 4. Hibiscus tea. Mechanism: contains anthocyanins and other compounds that help lower vascular resistance and protect nitric oxide. Time frame: a few hours to days for blood pressure and vessel effects. Pros: low calorie if unsweetened, soothing, can be consumed twice daily. Cons: tart taste for some herbal interactions possible. Tip: steep 2 tea bags for 10 minutes to maximize extraction. Drink afternoon and evening if tolerated. Score 6.5 out of 10. 3. Celery juice. Mechanism: surprisingly high in dietary nitrates. One 16-ounce glass can provide a substantial nitrate load, roughly in the hundreds of milligrams range depending on the celery. Time frame: hours for an acute effect. Regular daily use strengthens sustained effects. Pros: cheap, accessible, easy to make at home.
Cons: strong flavor, juice sugar is low, but sodium and mineral load varies. Tip: if raw juice is too intense, dilute with water or mix into a green smoothie. Score 7 out of 10. 2. Arugula smoothies. Mechanism: arugula is a nitrate-dense leafy green. 2 packed cups blended into a smoothie supply a powerful dose of dietary nitrates. Time frame: hours for noticeable vasodilation, with consistent use improving baseline circulation. Pros: fresh, very high nitrate content per volume, easy to combine with fruit or yogurt. Cons: peppery flavor that not everyone loves. Nitrates degrade quickly. Use immediately after blending. Tip: blend 2 cups of fresh arugula with a small banana and water or unsweetened almond milk. Drink right away. Score 8.5 out of 10. 1. Beetroot. Beet, the highest impact eat this daily candidate. Mechanism: concentrated source of dietary nitrates that convert to nitrate and then nitric oxide. Time frame: measurable increases in blood flow can appear in hours after an 8-ounce serving of beetroot juice, with more consistent, larger benefits when consumed daily over weeks. Pros: potent, affordable, flexible. You can drink beetroot juice, eat roasted beets, or blend whole beet smoothies. Cons: contains sugar and oxalates, a consideration for people with a history of kidney stones. Some bottles of juice are sweetened. Tip: aim for about 8 ounces of pure beetroot juice in the morning on an empty stomach, or the whole food equivalent. See recipes below. Score 10 out of 10. Those rankings give you context, but let's drill deeper on the top picks, the ones I recommend you try first if your goal is to improve leg blood flow and reduce cramps and cold feet. Beetroot. How to eat this daily in the real world. Beetroot is the king because it reliably supplies dietary nitrates in a concentrated form. Clinical studies using about 8 ounces of beetroot juice report measurable vasodilation and improved blood flow within a few hours after consumption. Daily intake helps create a steady supply so your body doesn't run low on nitric oxide precursors. Practical options. Beetroot juice. Buy 100% pressed beet juice with no added sugar. Drink about 8 ounces in the morning on an empty stomach to maximize absorption. If straight beet juice is intense, dilute it 50-50 with water and gradually reduce dilution as your palate adjusts. Whole beets. Roast beets with a drizzle of olive oil and a pinch of salt. A serving of roasted beets, about 1 medium beet, can be considered an alternative if you prefer chewing to drinking, but you may need slightly more whole beets to match the nitrate dose of 8 ounces of juice. Beet smoothie. Blend 1 small cooked beet or a raw shredded beet with a handful of berries, a tablespoon of lemon juice, and a base like unsweetened almond milk or water. Add a small scoop of unsweetened cocoa or a few arugula leaves for extra nitrates and flavonols.
Juice yourself. If you have a juicer, pressing beets at home lets you control sugar and additives. Store-bought options can vary in nitrate content, so preparation at home is often more reliable. Timing and how fast you may feel changes. After an 8-ounce serving, some people notice a warming or lightening sensation in the legs within a few hours. More consistent improvements in walking endurance and fewer cramps typically show up after daily use for a few weeks. Remember, studies show effects, but individuals vary. Don't expect guaranteed results overnight. Arugula, the quick nitrate green. 2 packed cups of arugula blended fresh give a high nitrate dose. Use it in a morning smoothie. 2 cups arugula, half a banana, a 1/4 cup of plain yogurt or unsweetened plant milk, and a few ice cubes. Drink immediately. Arugula's nitrates degrade quickly once cut, so fresh blending matters. Rotate arugula smoothies into your week 3 to 4 times. Using it intermittently provides strong nitrate support with variety. Celery juice, the practical morning alternative. 1 16-ounce glass of celery juice can provide a big nitrate hit, in many cases around a couple hundred milligrams of nitrates, depending on the batch. Drink it on an empty stomach if you can tolerate it. If the taste is too vegetal, add cucumber or dilute with water. Because celery juice is high volume, it's an inexpensive and accessible daily habit for many people. Hibiscus tea, afternoon and evening support. Hibiscus is easy to make and pleasant as a cooling or warming cup. Steep 2 tea bags in hot water for 10 minutes to extract the most compounds, then chill or sip hot.
Drink up to twice daily, unsweetened. Hibiscus helps support vascular tone and protects nitric oxide, so it's a great complement to nitrate-rich morning routines. A practical daily protocol I've used and recommend for many older adults who want a safe, low-cost routine. Morning, empty stomach. Consume about 8 ounces of pure beetroot juice or eat the whole beet equivalent, roasted beet salad or a beet taloothi. If you prefer, alternate mornings between beet juice and 16-ounce celery juice. Both provide substantial nitrates. Midday or early afternoon, hibiscus tea, 2 bags steeped 10 minutes, unsweetened, or a small arugula salad. Afternoon consumption gives you another nitric oxide protecting boost. 3 to 4 times per week, include an arugula smoothie, 2 cups arugula blended fresh for variety and extra leafy green nitrates. Evening, cocoa or tart cherry as a small snack on days when you need extra antioxidant protection for nitric oxide stability. Rotation strategy. Rotate these options so your palate doesn't tire and your gut microbiome sees variety. Example week. Monday, beet juice. Tuesday, arugula smoothie. Wednesday, celery juice. Thursday, beet juice. Friday, arugula smoothie. Saturday, whole roasted beets. Sunday, light beet or pomegranate day. Keep hibiscus tea available daily, ideally in the afternoon.
Some preparation tips that make these habits stick. If beet juice tastes too strong, start with 4 ounces diluted with water and gradually increase to 8 ounces over a week. Don't add sugar. Added sugar blunts metabolic benefits and can create blood sugar swings. Dilute sweet juices with water instead. Use fresh ingredients where possible. Nitrate content can drop in processed or watered-down commercial products. If you're juicing at home, clean your juicer thoroughly. Beet stains are real, but the payoff is exact control over what you consume. For smoothies, add a spoonful of fiber, like ground flaxseed, to slow sugar absorption if you're watching blood glucose. A few practical rules you must follow to preserve benefits and stay safe. 1. On an empty stomach. Morning nitrate-rich intake tends to be most effective when consumed before a big meal. That doesn't mean you must fast for hours. Just avoid heavy breakfasts immediately before your beet or celery drink if possible. 2. No mouthwash right after nitrate-rich intake. Converting dietary nitrates into the nitrites your body uses depends on your oral bacteria. Antibacterial mouthwash can interrupt that conversion and reduce the benefit. If you use mouthwash as part of your dental routine, avoid it around the time you consume nitrate-rich drinks or foods. 3. Avoid added sugars and unnecessary sweeteners. They add calories, blunt metabolic gains, and are unnecessary for the vascular benefit. 4. Dilute when needed. If a juice is intensely sweet or salty, dilute it rather than adding sugar or flavorings that defeat the goal. 5. Don't replace medical care. Dietary strategies support circulation, but are not a substitute for treating clinical vascular disease. If you have diagnosed peripheral artery disease, severe hypertension, or advanced circulation disorders, follow your clinician's plan and discuss these dietary additions with them. 6. Consult a clinician if you're on blood pressure medications or have a history of kidney stones. Nitrate-rich diets can enhance blood pressure-lowering effects. If you're taking blood pressure medications, this could increase the chance of low blood pressure. Also, beet greens and some nitrate-rich foods contain oxalates that are relevant for people prone to certain types of kidney stones. Talk to your clinician before starting a daily concentrate routine. A few more safety details. Beetroot contains sugar. If you have diabetes, monitor blood glucose and work with your healthcare team to adjust portions. If you're on blood pressure medication, don't stop or change doses without medical advice. Instead, bring this strategy to your provider so they can advise safely. When I discuss this with vascular clinicians, they emphasize that dietary nitrates are a supportive strategy, not a replacement for prescribed treatments. How long until you know it's helping? Expect a 2-tier response.
Tier 1. Within hours after a concentrated nitrate serving, like 8 ounces of beet juice, some people feel a warm or lighter sensation in their legs and slightly improved walking comfort. That's the acute vasodilation effect. Tier 2. With daily use over a few weeks, many studies and clinicians report improved endurance, fewer cramps, and better baseline warmth in the feet. Individuals vary widely, so track your symptoms. Simple measures include timing how long you can walk at a steady pace, noting how often cramps wake you at night, and scanning for differences in how warm your toes feel after a week or two. Now, a few common questions I hear when I recommend this protocol. Will I have to drink juice forever? Not necessarily. The idea is to build nitric oxide support and then maintain it with a rotation of whole foods, salads, and occasional juice. Some people scale back to every other day once they reach a better baseline, but that's a personal choice, made with symptom tracking and clinical consultation. Can I do this if I have diabetes? Often yes, with modifications. Use whole beets, dilute juices, and include fiber in smoothies to blunt blood sugar spikes. work with your clinician to monitor glucose. What about the taste? Beets and celery can be strong. Start small, dilute, and combine with pleasant flavors like lemon, a small apple slice, or berries in a smoothie. Arugula's peppery bite pairs well with banana or plain yogurt to soften the flavor. How to measure whether it's working for you? Keep a simple log. Record morning consumption, note leg warmth, nighttime cramps, how long you can walk at a steady pace, and any dizziness or lightheadedness, a signal to check blood pressure interactions. Take a photo of your feet weekly if you're tracking coloration changes. Review the log with your clinician after 2 to 4 weeks. A few extra practical points from the research and clinical conversations. Avoid heavy mouthwash use around the time you consume nitrates. Swishing an antibacterial rinse immediately before or after can blunt the conversion to nitric oxide. Hibiscus tea is a dependable afternoon complement and is best unsweetened. Steep 2 bags for 10 minutes to maximize active compounds. If you have a history of kidney stones, discuss oxalate risk with your clinician before making leafy green and beet-heavy changes. If you're concerned about sugar, choose whole beets or dilute juice and consider smaller portions more frequently rather than large sweet servings. If you're ready to try it, here's a simple 30-day challenge that respects safety and practicality. I encourage you to do this with your clinician's knowledge, especially if you're on medication. 30-day Eat This Daily Challenge. Days 1 through 30, each morning on an empty stomach, consume one of the following: 8 ounces of pure beetroot juice or the whole beet equivalent, roasted beet salad or a beet smoothie.
If you prefer celery, alternate every other day with a 16-ounce celery juice. Days 1 to 30, drink hibiscus tea once daily in the afternoon, 2 tea bags steeped 10 minutes, unsweetened. 3 times per week, replace morning juice with an arugula smoothie, 2 packed cups arugula, a half banana, unsweetened milk or water. Track daily notes on leg warmth, frequency of cramps, walking distance or time, and any dizziness or unusual symptoms. If you're monitoring blood glucose, record those readings as well. Check in with your clinician at the start and again at day 30, bring your tracker, and discuss adjustments. You don't need anything exotic to start. Pure beet juice, a bag of arugula, a bunch of celery, and hibiscus tea are all easy to find. The cost is modest compared to the potential quality of life gain of fewer cramps and warmer, more comfortable legs. A few final cautions and reminders. This plan is supportive and evidence-informed, but it does not replace clinical care for vascular disease, diabetic foot problems, or severe circulatory conditions. If you are on blood pressure medication, have advanced kidney disease, or a history of kidney stones, consult your clinician before daily concentrated use. Never stop or reduce prescribed medications without a clinician's guidance. And if you experience new dizziness, fainting, or heart palpitations, pause the routine and seek medical advice. To recap, after 60, nitric oxide declines, and that contributes to tighter, less flexible arteries and reduced blood flow to the legs. Certain foods, especially beets and nitrate-dense greens like arugula and celery, supply the precursors your body converts into nitric oxide. Beetroot stands out as the most practical, affordable, and potent daily option. Consuming about 8 ounces of pure beetroot juice on an empty stomach, or the whole beet alternative, daily, can produce acute improvements within hours for some people and more reliable benefits over weeks. Complement that with arugula smoothies, celery juice, hibiscus tea, and flavanol-rich foods like unsweetened cocoa or pomegranate to protect and sustain nitric oxide levels. If this message speaks to you, I invite you to join the 30-day Eat This Daily Challenge. Track your warmth, cramps, and walking endurance, and share your experience with your clinician. I'll link a printable checklist and simple recipes in the description to make it easy to start. Try it for 30 days, monitor how you feel, and bring the data to your healthcare provider to discuss next steps. You can take control of your circulation in small, practical steps. Eat or consume this daily. Keep it simple, and check in with your clinician. If you try the challenge, let me know how it goes. I read the comments and I'm rooting for your progress.